Hollywood's most enduring titans, Sylvester Stallone. The story, first revealed in her 2023 documentary, Pamela, A Love Story, is a startling account of a time when, according to Anderson, Stallone allegedly offered her a private condominium and a Porsche in exchange for becoming his #1 girl. While Anderson has now publicly reaffirmed this claim, it is important to remember that Stallone's representatives have issued a swift and forceful denial, calling the entire statement false and fabricated. This is a battle of narratives, a clash between a woman reclaiming her story and a powerful man seeking to protect his legacy, and it has once again thrust a private exchange into the very public spotlight. The original revelation came during a particularly candid moment in her documentary, which served as a raw and unfiltered look at her life, career, and the often unseen side of her public persona. In her account, Anderson described the alleged offer from Stallone and her immediate reaction to it. She recalled asking him, "Does that mean there's #2? To which Stallone, according to her, responded with a cynical piece of Hollywood wisdom. He goes, "That's the best offer you're gonna get. Honey, you're in Hollywood now. I wanted to be in love. I didn't want anything less than that." This exchange, as recounted by Anderson, painted a clear picture of a young, idealistic woman who was faced with a stark choice: embrace the pragmatic, transactional nature of the industry, or hold out for a more genuine connection. Her rejection of the alleged offer was framed as an act of defiance, a moment of integrity in a world that often seemed to reward the opposite. At the time of the documentary's release, this anecdote was one of many shocking revelations, but it stood out for its directness and for the powerful figures involved. It was a story that, while difficult to verify, resonated with many who felt it was a powerful symbol of the exploitive culture that has long been rumored to exist in Hollywood. In the days and weeks that followed the documentary's release, the story was met with a swift and unequivocal denial from Stallone's camp. The response was a direct and legalistic one, a firm refutation of the entire claim. Stallone's team released a statement, clarifying, "The statement from Pamela Anderson attributed to my client is false and fabricated." Mr. Stallone confirms that he never made any portion of that statement. This was not a subtle deflection. It was a blanket denial, a direct challenge to Anderson's version of events. For many, the matter seemed to be settled. A classic, he said. She said, scenario in which the truth would likely remain a mystery. However, Pamela Anderson has now decided to revisit the anecdote, not in a documentary, but in a more public setting, directly addressing the denial and making it clear that she stands by her story. In her recent comments, while speaking to the fact that her previous account had been denied, Anderson noted, with a hint of exasperation, "Well, how could you make that up, you know? I mean, that was pretty specific." Her words were a direct response to the accusation of fabrication, a simple but powerful rhetorical question. She was suggesting that the details of the story were so precise and so personal that it would be impossible for her to have invented them. Her tone was a mix of incredulity and a certain level of amusement, a sense that she was astonished by the very notion that her experience could be so easily dismissed. In a moment of levity, she even joked about the alleged deal, reacting to a humorous question about whether she had accepted it. "Not yet," she said before adding, "Maybe like a Shelby Cobra or something?" She quickly retreated from the humor, adding a firm no. But the joke itself was telling. It was a sign that she had processed the incident, that she had come to terms with it, and that she now felt confident enough in her own truth to not only defend it, but to poke fun at the absurdity of the situation. This public reaffirmation has once again opened the door to a conversation about power, privilege, and the often unspoken rules of the Hollywood game. To truly understand the weight of this exchange, one must first look at the power dynamics of Hollywood in the era that this incident allegedly took place. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Sylvester Stallone was at the absolute peak of his career. He was a global superstar, a blockbuster icon, and a figure of immense power and influence. He was not just an actor. He was a brand, a one-man industry who commanded respect and authority. In this era, the entertainment industry was structured in a way that gave an inordinate amount of power to a handful of men, the studio heads, the directors, and the A-list stars who could make or break a career with a single phone call. The culture was notoriously male-dominated, and the casting couch mythos, which spoke of the transactional nature of fame, was a well-known, if unspoken, reality for many young, aspiring actresses. Into this world came Pamela Anderson, a stunningly beautiful model and actress who was new to the industry. She had recently burst onto the scene with a series of high-profile modeling gigs and was on the cusp of a television career that would make her a global sex symbol. But for all her beauty and budding fame, she was a newcomer. She did not have the power, the connections, or the security of a long-established career. She was, in essence, a young woman navigating a system that was designed to favor men in positions of authority. The alleged offer from Stallone, whether true or not, is a powerful symbol of this dynamic. It speaks to a time when a powerful man could, with a casual offer, attempt to exert control over a young woman's career and her life. It highlights the implicit and explicit pressures faced by those who were new to the industry and were simply trying to make their way in a world that often saw them as commodities rather than as individuals with their own dreams and desires. The clash between Anderson's narrative and Stallone's denial is a classic case of he said, she said, in which the truth may never be fully known. For Stallone, the denial is a matter of protecting his reputation, his legacy, and his family.